Hey Christ Church, Father Chase here, and believe it or not, we are past the first quarter of the year. I know, right? Time really does fly when you're having fun and when you're out there doing God's work in the world. There are so many ways in which I'm thankful for the way God has been working in our parish. This truly is a church where Jesus is changing the world one person at a time. And so in this little video update, I want to highlight for you some of the ways God has been at work in our church and through our church. So let's start with the general parish health. Well, I'm pleased to announce that our parish continues to exhibit remarkable health and vitality. Our congregation's commitment to worship, to prayer, and to delving deeply into God's Word has fostered an environment of spiritual growth and deepening faith. It truly is an inspiring thing to see our church family grow in their relationship with Jesus and with each other. I'm also pleased to report that there have been an increased number of visitors on our campus. Many have walked through those doors seeking a place of worship and have found a welcoming home here at Christ Church. And it's not just on Sunday mornings. Wednesday nights, our story time program, our weekly community events have all helped to bring people from the community into our church family. Our Sunday morning attendance has remained robust. This is a clear indication of the vibrancy of our parish and the desire of our community for meaningful, Christ-centered worship and fellowship. With that, I want to shift gears now and kind of talk about the ways Jesus is working in the different ministry areas of Christ Church. So let's first talk about children's ministry. And boy, oh boy, we'll talk about an exciting, energized, and enthusiastic ministry we have with the children. Our children's ministry continues to thrive with programs like our Toddler Story Time, which consistently sees anywhere between 15 to 20 kids each week. And many of these families who are joining us on Friday mornings don't necessarily come from within our church. They're coming from the surrounding neighborhood. The really neat part is that some of these families have now begun to trickle into our Sunday morning worship services. This has become an on-ramp ministry welcoming in people from the neighborhood into our church community. Our Wednesday night kids club has also grown numerically and spiritually, from a small handful of kids to about 15 or 20 kids each week that come here that are excited to learn about Jesus and to grow in their relationship with Him. This past semester, they learned about what it means to be a disciple of Jesus and how God has blessed each of us with spiritual gifts and talents and abilities and how we can use those to serve Jesus and to serve His people and His kingdom. I'm also pleased to report on the wonderful family events that encourage relationships and welcome folks from the outside into our community. I'm talking about events like our Nerf Fest or our Movie on the Lawn. And of course, who can forget the St. Patrick's Day extravaganza. And now let's shift gears and talk about the older kids, the youth ministry. You know, one of the most incredible, amazing, awesome things that a student can do is to stand before the congregation and before his or her bishop and affirm their faith, to confess that they believe Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, that they believe the Old and New Testament. Thanks be to God, we have 7 students who have completed their confirmation program and will be confirmed on June 9th. This past semester, in our youth group on Wednesday nights, we concluded our fulfilling semester focus on compassion, which was inspired by research from the Fuller Institute, which cultivated empathy and kindness in our community. On Sunday mornings, during our Sunday school youth hour, our teens delved into the period of the judges, learning to seek Jesus as the true and good judge and discern right from wrong, thereby deepening their understanding of the Bible and their relationship with Jesus. And now let's talk about our adult formation ministries. The start of the year has been an outstanding first quarter for adult formation. I have to highlight the Form Conference in February, which was a huge success. We had over 100 registrants from various locations as far as Pennsylvania come to the Form Conference. We had 5 speakers over a 2-day conference period, and I say the conference was a huge blessing as it provided a platform for meaningful dialogue, which enriched the spiritual lives of the attendees, and it strengthened the mission of the church, which is to engage this world charitably with the good news of Jesus. I want to give a special thank you to everyone who was involved, all of the leaders, all of the volunteers, and a special thank you to Mother Bree who helped bring this conference together. Our Sunday morning adult ed and our Wednesday night classes have also continued to see steady attendance and have covered a diverse range of topics that have enriched our congregation's faith and knowledge. And I can't end adult formation without talking about this past semester's Theology on Tap, which has been very enlightening. We were blessed by some incredible speakers who showed us how ancient heresies, whether that's Arianism or Marcionism or Gnosticism, have a way of resurfacing into the church. And so we need to keep up our guards against such heresies. I want to give a special thank you to all of our speakers who did a fantastic job. Our hospitality ministries have been a beacon of warmth and welcome. Things like the Epiphany Bonfire this past January was a memorable event that brought our community together to celebrate the season of Epiphany. As we shared stories and enjoyed a wonderful talent show and delved deep into the significance of Epiphany, reflecting on Christ's manifestation and the call to spread His light into the world. The men's cookout and women's gathering were also very special events that allowed for our church family to connect and grow closer. The men were honored to have Greg McKay as our speaker at the men's cookout. Greg shared his powerful testimony of how God guided him to protect some of Arizona's most vulnerable children and led him on a journey to a meaningful ministry which focuses on helping foster children overcome their challenges and to prepare them for a brighter future. Our women's gathering was equally enriching. It was a delightful time, so I'm told, when our ladies could unwind, socialize, and unleash their creativity through their sip and paint activity. This event was more than just an artistic endeavor. It was an opportunity for our women to connect on a deeper level and to share their experiences and support each other in their spiritual journeys. And I can't neglect to mention one of our most popular hospitality ministries, our senior adult luncheon. Each month, our seniors gather together for fellowship and to share stories and to look back on fond memories. Each month, they also hear a fantastic speaker talk on a broad range of different subjects. Our music ministries has been a source of beauty and inspiration. In March, we hosted our Spring Evensong, which was a beautiful and reflective service that allowed each of us to end our day in prayer and contemplation. The blend of traditional hymns along with the liturgy set to music created a sacred space for all who attended. And of course, our choir really outdid themselves this year with our special Good Friday evening service with their performance of Bach's cantata. It was a highlight of our music ministry for the quarter. The talent and the passion of our musicians brought this classical piece to life, filling our sanctuary with sounds that glorified the cross of Christ. And I don't think there was a dry eye in this nave during that final hymn, And Can It Be? We also have to highlight the Children's Chorister program, which continues to bring joy and energy to our services. Their innocent little voices and heartfelt singing reminded us of the pure love and faith that Jesus calls us to embody. Our prayer and healing ministries is probably one of our most important ministries we have here at Christ Church. I am so thankful for all of the volunteers and leaders in our various prayer teams and healing ministries. They are often working behind the stage, praying deeply for each of us. Thank you to each one of them. Our prayer and healing ministry hosted Joe Johnson this past January for a week of prayer and healing services, which focused on the healing power of love. He concluded his time with us with a healing service, which included a time of worship, teaching, and prayer. He taught on the healing power of love. The Eucharistic healing service was also a profound experience of God's presence in healing power. Participants left here feeling renewed and affirmed in their faith and well-being. We also had a monthly prayer drop-in time, where once a month, In between the two services, you could stop over to our prayer room and meet with some of our prayer team and have one-on-one prayer time together. Thank you to everyone who made that possible. And for the last ministry area I want to highlight, I want to talk about our ministry partners. We are grateful for the partnerships that we have with our various ministry partners. Ministries like Phoenix Refugee Connection and ARDF, Anglican Relief and Development. This past winter, we were privileged to hear from Father Jake Stum and Mary Keck about the impactful work being done to assist those in need, both domestically and internationally. We also hosted 2 ministry partner days with our partners, starting with a successful drive for Maggie's Place, our pregnancy resource partner. Thanks to our church family's generosity, we provided 15 welcome baskets for women and babies in need. Additionally, we had a special lunch and presentation by Phoenix Refugee Connection featuring Bobby Cox, the executive director of Go 10, which stands for Go to Every Nation, a ministry focused on reaching unreached people in Phoenix. We're also currently hosting a special docu-series called Across, which shed light on the challenges that are faced at the border. Thank you to Mary Keck, who's making that possible. And thank you to everyone who participated in our ministry partner days. Being a part of these ministries, not just financially, but also with our time and our talent, is really important. Remember, Jesus calls us to be the light in the world. And what better way to be that light, to be the hands and feet of Jesus? And lastly, I want to shift gears a little bit and give you a financial update. The Finance Committee and the Vestry are pleased to report that through the first quarter, our financial results are on plan and consistent with the 2024 budget presented during our January annual meeting. The first quarter highlights include the generosity of those who pledged, including many who fulfilled their annual pledge during the quarter. Non-pledge offerings were strong, but will remain a line item that the Finance Committee will monitor throughout the year. Overall, expenses were consistent with our budget. And I want to thank everyone out there who supports this church with your financial giving. We cannot do ministry, we cannot do the mission of this church without your support. So thank you for your generosity. So Christ Church, as we look forward to the rest of the year, let us continue to seek God's guidance and grace. Thank you for your continued support and dedication to our church family. May we remain united to our mission to transform the world through the love of Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, and God bless.